你好，这里是假装上班有限公司。
Hello, this is the Pretend to Work company. With unemployment rates so high lately, I started a company where there's absolutely no business. Here, you can pretend to have a job. If you're recently unemployed and want to keep it from your family, you could come work here. We offer the following. 1. A desk where you could play on your phone or browse the computer as much as you want. I'll walk around occasionally to give you that thrilling feeling of slacking off at work. 2. Fake tasks. You could refuse them with any excuse you like, or even slam the files on the desk, or my face as a boss. For just 30 yuan a day, you'll get lunch and dinner, work from 10 to 5, no clocking in or overtime. We only have 3 seats left, so act fast.
On December 27th, a job ad for this Pretend to Work company went viral on Chinese social media. The video showed an office setup that looked just like a real workplace, complete with desks, chairs, and computers. At first, many thought it was a joke poking fun at China's rising unemployment rate. But a quick check on recruitment platforms like Boss Zhipin revealed that these paid-to-work companies actually exist. One such company, located in Yintai City in Shushan District, Anhui Province, is hiring managers to operate its pretend-to-work company. The idea of pretend to work didn't originate as dark humor from the unemployed, but rather from Chinese experts looking for solutions to unemployment. According to Baidu, China's Wikipedia, an expert is defined as someone highly skilled or knowledgeable in a particular field. However, these so-called experts seem increasingly detached from reality, offering absurd theories and advice that leave ordinary people shaking their heads. For instance, one expert suggested on social media a win-win solution to unemployment. Let college students pay to work while companies provide training. This way, employees gain valuable experience, and businesses get the cash flow they need to survive. The idea of workers paying to work and support business owners may sound ridiculous, but it's a concept only China's sycophantic experts could propose. In reality, pay-to-work schemes have existed in China for years, such as paying bribes to secure government jobs or spending money on training programs. Xiao Chen, a 2024 graduate from a university in Zhejiang, told Voice of America that he's currently doing an internship at a neighborhood office in Ningbo to qualify for the civil service exam as a fresh graduate. He earns less than 2,000 yuan a month, but spends heavily on exam prep. So far, he's taken 3 training courses, spending between 6,000 and 10,000 yuan on intensive sessions lasting up to 3 weeks, along with online tutorials. His internship income isn't enough to cover these expenses, so he relies on financial support from his family. Meanwhile, various certification programs and job training services are thriving, turning many students into victims of the exam economy and job search economy. A 2024 graduate who recently found a job in Dongguan, Guangdong, shared her experience with a training program teaching Chinese as a foreign language. The course offered full refunds if she didn't pass her exam. She paid over 8,000 yuan for online classes, half of which were live-streamed and the other half pre-recorded. While she passed the final written exam, she failed the interview and didn't receive the certification. She explained, "The training center promised a full refund if I didn't pass, but when I asked for my money back, they pointed to a contract I had signed. It said I had to attend every single class to qualify for a refund. I missed a few sessions while job hunting and didn't notice the fine print when I signed. I feel like I've been scammed." She also considered seeking legal help to recover the fees, but realized it would cost both money and time. "It's like a never-ending trap," she said. "I felt like a lamb being led to slaughter, so I just gave up in the end." In China, many job placement services remain untouchable for 2 main reasons. There's a huge market for them, and these intermediaries charge job seekers instead of employers, which isn't illegal. As long as college graduates are eager to find jobs quickly, they often fall victim to these exploitative practices. Now, the concept of pay to work, first proposed by some experts, has been adopted not only by certain government departments and business owners, but also by shady intermediaries who have turned it into an industry. Several media outlets have reported on how some staffing agencies profit from so-called pay-to-recommend schemes. These agencies promise job seekers internships or even permanent positions in exchange for money. They advertise one-stop services that include everything from resume editing to internship matchmaking, and even securing permanent roles. Typically, job seekers who submit their resumes quickly receive internship opportunities. However, these pay-to-recommend internships require paying a deposit, or intent fee, which varies by industry, ranging from 8,000 to 19,000 yuan. Prices are even higher for positions at well-known companies. The ads for these services boast claims like, "Polish your resume with a prestigious internship," or "Get a direct path to a permanent role." However, company managers have pointed out that many graduates who pay for these internships lack real workplace skills. On the flip side, this pay-to-recommend industry has become a common scam. Some job seekers pay large sums but receive nothing in return. Consumer complaints about such scams are flooding platforms like Black Cat Complaints, with issues ranging from false advertising and fraud to refusal to provide refunds. In May, one consumer reported paying over 20,000 yuan for a referral program that promised direct access to state-owned enterprises. In another case, a middleman claimed that job seekers with a college degree or higher had an 85% chance of being referred to entertainment industry jobs. Dozens of people fell victim to the scam, losing nearly 1 million yuan collectively. According to earlier reports from Chinese social media, the pay-to-recommend industry became a full-fledged business by 2022. Some agencies claimed that landing an internship at a major tech company would cost between 15,000 and 25,000 yuan, with a success rate of about 50%. However, it's unclear how these agencies collaborate with such companies. Is it illegal collusion with HR departments, or are they just using false promises like guaranteed permanent positions to scam people? One person reportedly paid 30,000 yuan, worked for 2 months without a contract or salary, and was left wondering whom to approach for a refund. Meanwhile, some prestigious companies may simply be taking advantage of free labor. A veteran journalist in Beijing explained that job coaching markets are booming in cities like Beijing and other provincial capitals. At major job fairs, countless agencies advertise guaranteed admission or job-seeking assistance, targeting fresh graduates. Fees often start at 10,000 yuan and can go much higher. However, just like civil service exam coaching programs, no agency can truly guarantee a job offer from a top company. The more confident the pitch, the more likely it is a scam. Looking back over the past few years, as China's economy has worsened and unemployment has surged, many people have turned to alternatives like pretend-to-work companies, pay-to-work schemes, and pay-to-job-seek markets to cope with their situation. From December 30th to 31st, China's Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security held a meeting, claiming that overall employment remained stable over the past year. The ministry also emphasized the need to prevent widespread unemployment, regional job losses, and labor disputes. In response, some online commentators said, if the central government is discussing it, unemployment must be very serious. Now all they can do is numb themselves and avoid facing reality. On December 18th, China's National Bureau of Statistics released unemployment data for November. The unemployment rate for urban workers aged 16 to 24, excluding students, was reported at 16.1%, down 1% from the previous month. For those aged 25 to 29, the rate was 6.7%, down 0.1%. For workers aged 30 to 59, the rate remained at 3.8%. The official unemployment data released by the Chinese government starkly contrasts with the country's actual employment environment, raising widespread skepticism. Over the years, China's economy has continued to decline under the policies of the Chinese Communist Party, leading to rising unemployment. However, the CCP continues to fabricate misleading statistics to mask the situation. On July 17, 2023, the CCP reported a youth unemployment rate of 21.3% for individuals aged 16 to 24. However, that same day, Zhang Dandan, an associate professor of economics at Peking University, published an article titled "The Underestimated Youth Unemployment Rate." Her calculations revealed that in March 2023, youth unemployment rate may have reached as high as 26.5%, directly contradicting the official data. Recently, a netizen on Xiaohongshu referenced Zhang's findings, which estimated a youth unemployment rate of 46.5%. This individual conducted an informal survey on Xiaohongshu to validate the figure. They invited people aged 18 to 40 to participate in a poll. The poll results, with detailed options provided, showed that among the respondents, nearly 3,000 selected employed and preparing for exams, with income exceeding expenses. Over 2,000 chose unemployed seeking work, and over 800 chose unemployed preparing for exams. Based on this criteria, the survey revealed an unemployment rate of 50.6%, surpassing the 46.5% rate suggested by Zhang. This suggests that the earlier estimate might have been overly conservative. Other online posts have further highlighted the dire employment situation. For example, one netizen from Anhui reported that their company suddenly cut all employee salaries by 50%. Many employees suspected this was a tactic to force resignations. However, given the bleak job market, no one dared to quit, as resumes sent to other companies went unanswered. This experience reflects a widespread phenomenon in China's job market, where many employees endure exploitative conditions to avoid unemployment.
I've noticed a really strange phenomenon lately. I have several friends whose companies haven't paid them a cent in months, nothing at all, yet they still choose not to quit. I was baffled and asked them why. Their reasons were almost all the same. Even though their company isn't paying salaries, at least they still have a job, which gives them some hope. But if they quit now, they're worried they won't be able to find a new job anytime soon. Honestly, after hearing their reasons, I can totally understand where they're coming from. These friends of mine aren't young anymore. They have aging parents to care for and young children to support. They're the sole breadwinners for their families, so the idea of unemployment is simply unbearable for them. Plus, it's incredibly hard to find a suitable job right now. Just go to a few interviews and you'll see what I mean. I recruit people every day, and I can see how job seekers are scrambling for positions. People are fiercely competing for jobs that pay just 3,000 or 4,000 yuan a month. Some are even willing to forego their salaries as long as the company pays for their social insurance. That's how desperate it's gotten. And with over 10 million university graduates entering the job market each year, they're hard-working and cheap labor. Competing with them is almost impossible. So if you have a job that pays a proper salary right now, treasure it. Don't slack off, because if you lose your job now, it might mean permanent unemployment.
This situation, where employees continue to bear living expenses despite unpaid wages, resembles the concept of pay to work, an abnormal product of skyrocketing unemployment in China. Experts predict that China's employment situation will deteriorate further in 2025, especially with the implementation of the gradual postponement of statutory retirement age, which began on January 1, 2025. The policy increases the retirement age for male workers from 60 to 63, and for female workers from 50 or 55 for civil servants to 55 and 58. By January 1, 2030, the minimum contribution period for pension eligibility will gradually increase by 6 months each year, from the current 15 years to 20 years. Those who fail to meet the minimum contribution period at retirement must extend their contributions or make a lump sum payment to qualify for basic pensions. On New Year's Day, the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security, the Central Organization Department, and the Ministry of Finance jointly issued a temporary regulation on the implementation of a flexible retirement system, accompanied by an official interpretation. The interim measures propose that, starting January 1, 2025, employees who meet the minimum contribution period for receiving basic pensions on a monthly basis can voluntarily opt out for flexible early retirement. Employees who reach the statutory retirement age can also negotiate with their employers to delay retirement flexibly. Their earliest retirement can be up to 3 years before the statutory retirement age, and the retirement age cannot be lower than the original statutory retirement ages of 50 or 55 for female employees and 60 for male employees. While this may not appear to be a one-size-fits-all policy, Zhejiang blogger Old Xu argues that under these interim measures, most people will be forced to retire 3 years later, raising concerns among many workers. Given that the job market already imposes age restrictions starting at 35, how can people ensure they will still have jobs at 40 or 50? Additionally, delayed retirement will impact workplace dynamics, as people who were originally set to retire will continue working, reducing short-term job vacancies and making employment even harder to secure. This will undoubtedly intensify workplace competition. This situation is pushing workers to adopt second careers. For example, somebody might spend their first decade as a TV host, then the next 10 years as a writer, and the following 10 years as a live streamer. Others still hustle at 70 years old. Public reactions to the government's gradual retirement delay and extension of minimum contribution periods have been overwhelmingly negative. Many criticize the authorities for breaking promises, and some have noticed that under the new policy, their final pension payouts might be lower than the total amount of contributions made. As a result, many have chosen to opt out of Social Security programs. Prominent financial commentator Big Liu believes that the issue of delayed retirement has been a topic of heated debate for years and is now inevitable. In recent years, multiple institutions have released reports warning that China's basic pension fund reserves will be depleted by 2035. To replenish the fund, contribution periods for retirees must be extended. For freelancers, however, their pension contributions may not yield adequate returns by the time they retire. Another financial commentator, Ah Xing, voiced his concerns, stating that the government's delayed retirement policy is riddled with contradictions. For ordinary citizens, many find themselves unemployed in their 30s and 40s. If retirement is delayed to 65, where will they find jobs in the meantime? People still need to eat, and if they can't find work due to their age, what are they supposed to do? This is the most significant contradiction. Many companies impose strict age limits, dismissing employees regardless of performance once they surpass a certain age. This creates a very awkward situation. He added, for those in physically demanding jobs, such as movers, underground coal miners, or delivery drivers, it's nearly impossible to keep working beyond a certain age. As people grow older, their physical strength, mental agility, and stamina decline, making it hard for them to continue in such industries. These sectors will inevitably eliminate older workers. Shouldn't there be different retirement ages for different industries? Therefore, Xing believes that this policy reflects the interests of officials and policymakers. Those who advocate for retirement at 65 are likely managers, office workers, or white-collar professionals. For them, working until 65 involves minimal physical exertion, and they continue to enjoy benefits and high salaries. Why wouldn't they welcome such a policy? In conclusion, the issue of delayed retirement requires extreme caution. Once implemented, it could trigger significant societal backlash, not only exacerbating workplace competition and employment difficulties for young people, but also creating a series of social conflicts.